A season veering onto the shoulder, bouncing in the dirt, headed toward oncoming traffic, suddenly lurched back onto the highway Thursday night, humming along in the fast lane. 12 days after the worst loss of the Brian Dutcher era, we got the signature victory of the Brian Dutcher era 72-70 against number 12 Gonzaga in front of the first VAS Arena sellout in nearly a year. It may or may not revive the 8-3 Aztecs' hopes for an at-large berth in the NCAA tournament, but what it did revive was perhaps more important: their spirits, their swagger, their sense of being. Our kids played gritty, they played tough, Dutcher said. They rose to the occasion. Life as a mid-major in a one-bid league can be a depressing proposition these days, with little of true meaning at stake outside a week in March at your conference tournament. But put a ranked opponent on your home floor, in front of a rabid crowd, against a proud team fighting for a return to national relevance, and you get an electric, memorable night with an NCAA tournament feel. 12 days between games, you have to go back 37 years to find a longer break during the regular season, is hard enough for players already sick of practicing from a 6-week preseason camp. It gets even tougher when you have to stew over a loss to a 3-6 Cal team. We had 12 days to get better, Trey Cal said, and we did that. Steve Fisher is on Naismith Hall of Fame ballot. They drilled Gonzaga's offensive sets, over and over and over, which screens to go under, which ones to switch, when to double-team the post, when and who and where to help. They worked on transition defense, sending 2 players to the offensive boards instead of their usual 3. They finally figure out how to zone and how to make timely threes, particularly in the early moments that whipped the VA's crowd into a froth. But they ended the nation's longest active road win streak at 12 games by dusting off their old playbook, their old blueprints, sit down and guard defense paired with grinded out offense and steeled nerve in crunch time. How else do you win? Shooting 36.1%. They won by holding Gonzaga 10-3 to 42.4% shooting 3 days after it lit up IUPUI for 68%, the third highest of the 19-year Mark Few era. And by holding the Zags to 22 points under their season average. Leading scorer Josh Perkins didn't have a point until the second half and finished with 5, nearly 10 under his average. He and senior backcourt mate Silas Melson combined to shoot 4 of 19. They won with a healthy Cal, who had been sidelined during crunch time of excruciating losses to Washington State and Cal. Cal didn't start, but he was on the floor, with the ball, when it mattered, 3 times, drawing fouls that sent him to the line in the final 3 minutes, then making a twisting reverse layup that pushed the margin to 6 inside a minute to go. 12 of his 14 points came in the second half. I was a little tired, said Cal, who hasn't participated in a 2.5-hour practice in a month. I'm not 100%. But I was good enough to go. I wasn't missing this game, and they won with freshmen Matt Mitchell and Jalen McDaniels each had 15 points. Mitchell played a team-high 36 minutes, and McDaniels had 10 rebounds, 5 on the offensive end, including a spectacular tip dunk that served as the evening's exclamation point. Senior Malik Pope had 9 points and 6 rebounds in 21 minutes, but he went to the bench with 6:39 left, presumably for a quick. Instead, he never got back, and because, Dutcher said, Jalen and Max Montana were playing better, and they won by not wilting down the stretch, as they had in their last 2 losses after leading by 5 and 4 points late. At the end they were a lot smarter than us, Few said. Trey Cal shot nothing but free throws. We've got to be smarter. Both coaching staffs faced similar tactical decisions before tip-off. Dutcher, he of 7 career victories as a head coach, had to decide who to start. Few, he of 513 career wins, had to decide whether to open in man or zone defense. Give the whiteboard nod to the guy with 7. Cal was healthy enough to play from his recent knocks right ankle, left thigh, and Dutcher had toyed with starting him. But Dutcher opted for Jeremy Hemsley, as much out of tactics as compassion, wanting to save Cal's legs for crunch time and wanting to reward Hemsley for solid run of practice. And Few opened in man. The result, SDSU leads of 11-0 and 22-10, and an energized VS. Few eventually switched to a 2-3 zone, and played it in a similar manner as Cal did in its 63-62 win here December 9th, with guards on top tucked together to deter the high post pass and the baseline wings pushed up high and wide, with only a single big protecting the basket. My concern is we would come out rusty. We didn't come out rusty, Dutcher said. When they did go to zone, all the work we've done on the zone offense paid off. We still missed a lot of shots, but the ball moved a lot more freely. We put it in the high post and low post. It stayed close into the second half, until SDSU started making shots from the high post. Few finally blinked, calling timeout with 8:40 left after McDaniels scored 6 straight SDSU points, 2 of jumpers from the heart of the zone, for a 44-37 cushion. The stat of the game: late in the first half and into the second, Gonzaga had the ball 16 times with a chance to tie or take the lead, and couldn't. SDSU never trailed. Great resolve, Dutcher said, coming off 12 days of practice without a game. FEW's take: I thought that stretch from about the 15-minute mark to the 5-minute mark was fairly inept. We might find the post and then we'd turn the ball over, get an offensive foul or take a quick three. Students didn't rush the floor after the victory, not because they didn't want to but because security literally fought them off, causing a few minor skirmishes along the baseline by Gonzaga's bench. At least one person was escorted out of the arena. It's nice beating a nationally ranked team on TV where it's seen around the country, Dutcher said. It's not only a win against a ranked team. It's a game that was close enough and exciting enough. People were tuned in and probably walked away thinking, wow, San Diego State is pretty good, and I think we are pretty good. How good, I don't know yet. But we'll continue to try to get better and find that out. Notable next up, at Wyoming on December 27th for the start of Mountain West play. The sellout ended a streak of 6 straight games not at FIES Arena's 12,414-seat capacity. This was SDSU's first win against a ranked opponent since a 72-58 decision against number 14 Cal on November 26, 2015. It is the highest-ranked non-conference team the Aztecs have beaten since number 11 Gonzaga in 2010. The Aztecs are 3-0 with Thursday night's starting lineup: Devin Watson, Hemsley, Mitchell, Pope and Cameron Rooks. SDSU was shooting 28.8% midway through the second half before making 7 of its last 9. Caption Mark.Ziegler at SidunionTribune.com